Welcome back to Smart Family. Let's talk family health this afternoon. This month is Alcohol Awareness Month. And did you know that there are 7.4 million adults aged 21 to 64 with an untreated alcohol abuse disorder who could benefit from treatment? But according to the U.S. Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, only 1% of those people believe they need help. So joining us now is Chip Coffey, Director of Outpatient Services at St. Luke's Behavioral Health Center. So thanks, Chip, for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, tell me a little bit about this study. So 7.4 million people could use some help, but only 1% of that population actually believe that they have a problem.
Right, and looking at that study, what you have to look at is they're looking at people that have an identified issue that might benefit. What we're also looking at is people with dependency issues. So you have people with dependency of about 6.5 million people with chemical dependency or alcohol dependency, and only about half million of those are actually getting treatment.
That's it? Just a small little minute?
Right, and that's nationwide.
Okay, well, why are so many people aren't being treated? Why are they refusing treatment?
Well, first of all, a lot of people don't recognize that it is an issue.
Okay.
And I think that what we see at St. Luke's Behavioral Health is a lot of times people who are entering treatment are only doing so because their family pressured them, but they still don't believe that they have a problem.
Okay.
It's someone else's problem, not really theirs.
Okay, so you're saying that you actually have to believe that you have a problem. You can't have somebody telling you that you do in order to solve it.
Really, we see people when they first come in are other motivated. When they first come in, it's really because someone else, whether it's work or legal or family, tells them they need to come in. At some point, they have to start being self-motivated to treatment, and they have to acknowledge that they have an issue or they're not going to change their behaviors.
Okay. Well, that's sometimes similar to weight loss, when people, they don't necessarily believe in such in that case. So, but what are some of the warning signs?
Well, some of the things that we look at is we tell people to ask themselves, are your family and friends complaining about the amount you drink? Are you having difficulty in holding yourself? You might make that contract with yourself, I'm only going to have 2 beers tonight, you end up having a 12-pack.
Right. Well, we have a graphic up here too, so, do your friends and family complain about it? And after you drink, do you feel bad about it?
Right. And then that's that negotiating when you feel bad about it, because it's not only do you feel bad about the drinking, but also the impact on family.
Right.
We also look at, has it caused you problems in your workplace? And then starting to miss obligations. You're missing 2 or 3 days from obligations because of your drinking, then yes, it's an issue. Okay,
because it's affecting your life. You're functioning as a life.
Correct.
Right? So what are some of the treatment options that are out there for people? And one thing with those questions, there's actually a conclusion to that in terms of if you answered any of those questions.
If you answered any of those questions, yes, you really need to seek help. And a lot of times people start with their family physician, but also come to someplace like St. Luke's Behavioral Health where there's inpatient and outpatient services. A lot of people with alcohol dependency really need an inpatient detox to start out, or else it's one of the more difficult detoxes. But then doing chemical dependency on an outpatient, intensive outpatient, where you're meeting 3 times per week, 3 hours per night, or that type of treatment level. It's not enough to just attend support meetings. We find that people need much more than that. Okay.
Well, you and I were talking earlier, and I was telling you that I actually used to be in the mental health business many, many years ago, and that, a lot of people who, may have mental illnesses, they often use alcohol as a way of self-medicating. And in addition to that, you were sharing with me that some of the treatments have changed, meaning that it's not just about AA, that you guys are looking at things cognitively.
Right. A lot of times in inpatient treatment and outpatient treatment now, we're using something called cognitive behavioral therapy. We're really looking at people's thinking, how it affects feelings, which then impacts behavior. Then as people are going out in the community, we're still wanting them to be involved in support groups like 12-Step or Alcoholics Anonymous, but there's also Smart Recovery. But it's a whole package now as opposed to just doing a 12-step approach.
So that's what Smart Recovery is. It's more of a whole package. It covers all aspects of the dependency and why we're doing it.
Right, and where one treatment approach doesn't work for everyone.
Right.
So it is really important to have that individualized treatment plan, but then also to recognize what works for you as an individual.
Okay.
Once you get out there in the community.
Okay, well, Chip, some great advice there, and thank you so much for joining us. And if you think a loved one that may have an alcohol abuse problem, you can log on to stluke'sbehavioralhealth.com to take a free online assessment, or for more information, you can always head to our website at abc15.com and click on the Lifestyle tab.